morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I'm very shy. I was far away from the microphone. I'm not Reverend Linda. None of us are we? No, it'd be impossible. One of a kind, right? Anybody go see Deva Pramel when she was in town a couple weeks ago? In town. She was in the Northwest, let's say. They did go, yeah, Peggy and Tom went. They do a song that if you haven't ever seen them either on the YouTube or in person or wherever, they do a Namaste tune that, I don't know, they probably wrote it, but it's just their tune that they put to Namaste. They get, these thousands of people singing this song, and you'd think, okay, so you sing it 4 or 8 times. No. It goes on, and it's just really sweet. We'll probably just do it a few times, but feel free to join in. The words that they use are Namaste, Chidananda Rupe. And anybody know what Chidananda Rupe means? Sam? No? Nor do I, but the meter is beautiful. So like this. Namaste, Namaste, Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste. That's it. Namaste, Namaste, Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste, 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 Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste, 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 Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste, 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 Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste. One more. Namaste, Namaste, Chidananda Rupe, Chidananda Rupe, Namaste. We begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. Right here is where we begin. Well, now we could start out anywhere, but we're here now. We're not elsewhere. Right here is where we begin. So let's beautifully bless this place, this blue dot in outer space. Right here is where we begin. We begin, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin, we begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. I'm grateful that we're here together. Make some memories of my last forever. Right here is where we begin. We're gonna share a song and a few stories. Sing along, cause it's glorious. This right here is where we begin. And we're singing, we begin, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. said and done, and we've taken in such a loving fun, thinking about doing it again. Though it seems that we have reached the end, remember always, now is when, any moment's where we can begin. Singing, we begin, we begin. Here's a tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin. Let's double down on love, my friend. This right here is where we begin. This right here is where we begin.
Try it again. Oh, there it is. And I'm not Linda either. See? And we have Kathleen in Linda's place today. She's our savior of the day. Linda has the flu. She has return travel bug. You know how that works when you're flying. Anyway, she's grateful to be home and out cold. And we miss you, and we're going to put her in the prayer box and get her back to us. So, good morning. Welcome. And yeah, we're here. I think we ought to just throw a party or something. I mean, okay. I've been on the island way too long, all on my own. The ferry's back. I actually drove my car today for the first time in 3 months. I'm here. So now I'll get a little grounded and we'll get started. Pardon? Yes, I got it. Okay, so it is good morning to you and to everyone online. We welcome you and greet you in the warm and loving spirit of unity, in recognition of our unity with all people and communities of faith throughout the world. In unity, we bless and embrace people of every race, culture, lifestyle, and creed. We honor and celebrate the many paths of God, the many names of God, and the many ways in which we experience God. We affirm there is only one presence, one power active in your life and mine, God the good, omnipotent. Would you say that with me? There is only one presence, one power active in your life and mine, God the good, omnipotent. And now we've got Sam. The Daily Word.
Good morning, everyone. Great to see you all. So, yes, today's daily word is zeal. And I was taken aback when I first read that word, because for me, at first, I think of zealot, which has kind of a negative connotation. But I looked into it, and look else who's here. Last night, Denise and I and several of us here saw Red Carmo with Ireland, and she's somebody, in my mind, who exemplifies zeal, which is enthusiasm, diligence. And so the daily word, divine zeal is my impulse to accomplish great things. Toward the end of his life, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore famously wrote, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm, and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. This story shows that as a divine gift, zeal is always mine to call upon, no matter my age or the state of my life. It is the impulse that makes me eager to rise in the morning and gives me energy to get started with the day's tasks. It drives me to give the best of myself to those people and things I care about most. Zeal is quickening, enlivening energy that helps me to feel the presence of God within and bring that presence to life in a way that only I can. I sizzle with zeal, with passion and enthusiasm. I live, love, and serve. And from Romans 12, do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve the Lord.
Thank you, Sam. And good morning again. And I know there's no one new here, but welcome to any level of newness, and welcome back, Richard. Nice to see you, and welcome back, Cindy. Nice to see you, too. Okay, so I want to thank Kathleen. We got a text yesterday, or maybe you got a call. I just got a text. Oh, I just got a text. And Jerry, thank you for stepping in. And you already knew you were, but thank you every day and any day. Steve, you're awesome. And then there's the rest of the volunteer team. I think about what keeps this community together. How many good hearts step up and say yes, like I did yesterday, and I wasn't planning on being here. But here we are, and I'm happy for it. Okay, we have also, as far as the focus of prayer and the prayer team and the connection that is created through being on that prayer team. And that's something that has been transformational for myself personally, in connection with the rest of the team, in connection with all who offer up and ask for prayer. And that's a really important aspect of this, is in the asking. And as a result, we have the box back there. And we also have the online, and I'm going to say it right this time. It's unitysv.org. And then there's your prayer request as part of that beautiful website. That is another aspect of people who volunteer and give. Okay, so we have, announcement-wise, a drumming circle happening on June 4th. That's Monday. No, that isn't. Wednesday, yes. And then on June 6th is National Gardening Exercise Day. Do we have to? Anyway, it's on the calendar. Do what you will. And then on June 8th is the birthday bash next week. And so is there anybody here that's a June baby? Well, happy birthday in advance. And then there's a board meeting on the 10th. Again, volunteer team and Madam President. Is this going to be your first meeting to preside over? No. Oh, you're already, third. Okay. Leslie, in case you didn't know. And I think we all do and are grateful to all of you. And then on the 29th is our potluck. So we all know this. Okay. And I think that's it for now. I think it's Steve. You're up, right?
Sure. Words are so fun, aren't they? Meditation song is what it says on the program. So I won't do anything by Billy Idol. So there we go. People, I've told you all this. One of my favorite songs is that song Today, Today While the Blossoms Still Cling. Another one is this one, and I don't think of it very often, but guy's not really famous, although he's written a bunch of songs in Nashville. His name is Jeff Black. And he wrote this song about Noah, and it's, if we talk about where we're going and our willpower and our ability to choose and those kinds of things, well, maybe this song will lead into that. So. Weren't expecting no rainbows. Noah told them cackling hens. Weren't considered no sailor. And I hope that I don't have to do this again. How many times can you fly out? Leave me with this open, empty hand. This time will be the last time I send that little bird to find land. For days it just kept raining. Oh, the rain just kept coming on down. Thought I'd never get a sign, and I thought for sure I was gonna drown. Well, yonder there she'd come and flying, till that day I couldn't sing a note. It's hard to wait for information, and I can't wait to dock this old boat. If I ever get to heaven, I'll admit I doubted some. Tell them everything that happened, and ask them why it took so long. If they find my tools and timber that I used to build her strong, hope the fools that do remember, out on a sea of hope and faith, we drifted home. Pretty sure someone would be there to meet us. Noah told them chickens to their face as he looked out from the mountain. He could see what time would do to this old place. Is everybody coming with me? It'll take a little time to settle in, and I hope everyone forgives me, because this took a little longer than I planned. Y'all hold on to one another, make darn sure that you don't drift apart. We'll truck on down this mountain. We'll find a level place to make a brand new start. The sun just kinda peeked out. It was just enough to make 'em feel assured. And the only thing that Noah kept repeating, said he sure was glad to see that little bird. If I ever get to heaven, I'll admit I doubted some. I'll tell him everything happened. Ask them why it took so long. If they find my tools and timber that I used to build her strong. Of the fools that do remember, out on a sea of hope and faith, we drifted home. Hello, it's good to see you. Been a long, long time. Hello, it's good to see you. Been a long, long time. Hello, it's good to see you. Been a long, long time. Long, long time. Been a long, long time. Long, long time.
Lovely. My necklace is trying to choke me. And it's not a choker, no. So it seems like every time I end up on the platform, I get Steve. It's just, I love it.
I love it.
I love it too, hon. Thank you. Okay, so this meditation is going to be very quiet because it's called Silence, and I'm going to be giving a quote from this book called Silence. But I want to talk a little bit about what it is to be in the samadhi. The samadhi is another word for the silence. Sometimes it's even defined as sleep, but there's a quietude and a settling and a depth of knowing that you are held. And so that's what this meditation is, when you can settle in on that level. So I'm just going to start. I usually ask people if they like to do a mudra. A mudra is with your hands. So the mudra for the belly center is to find your belly button. It's about 3 inches below your waistline. And that's the geographical center of the human body. And if you could just fold your hands however you like them, watch whichever direction you like it, and then I'll step aside here. So what you do is you bend your hands this way, and you put your knuckles into your belly button. You're now holding your center. And that's what we're going to do. So that's the geographical center of the human body. And your belly center is your grounding center, in case you didn't know that. This is the center that you ground in. And so just allow yourself to just let go. Just be aware. And become part of that slight pressure of your thumb pressing in. And bring your head up. The tongue goes to the top of the palate when it's resting. And you can just exhale as much air as you have and just come into that place. So we want to have our body feel that it's supported during the meditation. Especially when I'm standing, because I feel like I'm rocking, but that's okay too. So I have a little quote here from this book called Silence, and it's just literally a sentence. There is nothing behind silence or within it. And I'll say that again. There is nothing behind silence or within it. It is a total within, a total within. And so on that note, we're going to enter the silence for 5 minutes. And so we begin. And when you're ready, you can take a deep breath and open your eyes. I should have mentioned there's a secret learned from meditating. If you give yourself 3 points of contact, the knowing center drops out. So when we did the mudra, we're holding ourselves, we touched our belly center, and we took a deep breath and relaxed. 3 points of contact, that's all it takes. And you can go directly in. Very cool. So is there something else you need to say, or do I jump right in?
Steve is going to do so.
So very good.
So when David Roth was here a couple months ago, I was talking with him, and he made a comment about how he usually writes down his set list so that when he comes back the next time, he doesn't play all the same songs, right? I don't do that. Yeah, there you go. So I think I played this one earlier in the year. I know I played it when Jesse Powers was here. We sang it together, and I just love it. A song by a guy named John Bowers, music director back in New Jersey. He wrote this song for his wife when she was sick. It's just beautiful. It's called I Believe in Love. I believe in the old tall trees, the wild and ancient seas, the soothing summer breeze that relieves the heat of the day. I believe in the light that comes from the stars and the sun above, that shines from deep inside a heart that's filled with love. I believe in love. That is all the faith I need. I know love is there for me to catch me when I fall. I believe in a kind word. I believe in a healing touch. But most of all, I believe in love. I believe in harmonies and melodies and rhythms that set me free. Get me dancing, take me dancing, get me dancing. I believe in piano bars, slide guitars, saxophones like a lover's bone. Get me dancing, take me dancing, get me dancing. I believe in love. That is all the faith I need. I know love is there for me to catch me when I fall. I believe in a kind word. I believe in a healing touch. But most of all, I believe in love. I don't know why rivers flow. I just know they do. Now we're here, now we're gone, but the love keeps flowing through. And it goes and round and round, closer and closer, closer to me. Round and round and round, closer and closer to me. I believe in love. I believe in all I need, and I know love is
Thank you, Steve. Beautiful. Kathleen has been a part of this community now for at least a year, maybe more too. Yeah. And we know her in her mastery of teaching. Now, we talked about forgetting words.
The Enneagram.
Enneagram. The master is here. And she has a long history in personal growth and development of the spirit in ministries, in life, with a very gentle spirit and a soft voice. So we increased
We'll
the
talk
volume.
louder. Mhm.
Yes. So let's welcome Kathleen. Thank you.
Oh. So I am very stiff. I've been gardening for 2 weeks now. So my back is sore, and this little gadget back here is right on this bone, so I can't sit back in the chair. It's like, ow. So a little bit about me. It is always about me, yeah. It's always about us, isn't it? Yeah. So I was so blessed to find a unity ministry that wanted a licensed teacher, especially a retired old licensed teacher. And it turned out that Linda is only a few months difference in age than I am, and she didn't have a licensed teacher. I was like, oh my gosh, isn't this awesome? And the first thing she said to me when she saw me in person, because she was still in the midst of her chemo at the time that I actually talked with her, she said, I love you. I said, I love you too. It's like, there's a love fest going on, and I didn't even know this woman. She didn't know me either. And it was automatic, like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing to have this woman in my life. And at the same time, I said to her, I'm your teacher, what do you want me to teach? And she said, the Enneagram. And I said, who told you I was an Enneagram teacher? She said, are you an Enneagram teacher? I said, yeah, long-term Enneagram teacher. Riso Hudson, yeah. And I was just shocked. And so what was interesting is I said, I don't know that I'll get any people. They don't know me. She said, oh, you will. The whole board's going. She said, I'm remanding the board, all the people that are at the top. And she said, there's about 18. Hopefully they'll show up. And it was amazing because they did. And I had a class just like that. A teacher I didn't, from Linda Spencer. Anyway, so that's just a little bit about me. I recently was Deidre Ashmore's licensed teacher. So I've known Deidre for 9 years. We did ministry together in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and that was awesome that we got to do that. So I've known her for quite some time now. So I'm sorry to say that Linda sounded terrible. She has what she calls a flu virus bug, in her words, and she just like spit it out. This is so bad. She said, I just feel like, the essay, it's a shit word. She just was not feeling well at all, and she could barely talk. She was just, so I said to her, do you have COVID? Did you take a test? No, I said, you have a test. If you don't have a test, I'm bringing you a test. She said, I have a test. I said, do it, I'll wait. So I did. 10 minutes later, she said, it's not COVID. I said, okay, because otherwise you were going to the doctor. And she said, okay, it's just a bug, a nasty bug. So that was good news. Then I said, oh my God, I don't have a talk ready. I promised her I'd keep 2 in the bucket, but I already used them up. So I had to write another talk. I thought, what am I going to talk about? Oh, well, I'll talk about will. That's always an issue. So this is the talk of will, the aspect of will. So here we go. So Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity with his wife Myrtle, was a very gifted writer and speaker, and he believed that each one of us received 12 what he called God-given, I call divine ideas. And these divine ideas helped us create our life in a way that is amazing, because each one of these aspects talks about a particular power. Now, because I'm a teacher, I get to be a teacher in a moment here. Those 12 powers, they start with faith, the ability to believe in the possibility of divine truth and the power of thought. Okay, that's the first one. Love, the harmonizing, unifying power that heals and transforms us, transforms all situations. And wisdom. Wisdom is the understanding and the ability to know the divine plan. You get to know that you know, and you know that you know. Understanding. So it goes hand in hand with will. So understanding, it's the ability to know, to perceive, comprehend, apprehend, and then I'm sure everyone likes this, imagination. So imagination is one of the 12 divine ideas, and it's the ability to image, picture, conceptualize, envision, dream, and then the power to master, have dominion and control. And then strength, the strength to stand in front of a group of people you don't know and be okay, even when your shoes are a little wiggly, because I haven't been in any heels for a long time, and I got one leg shorter than the other, and I keep bouncing back and forth, and you're hoping you're not noticing too much. But so, power, the ability to master and have dominion and control, and strength, the ability to endure, stay the course, persevere. And then will, and this is going to be today's talk, the power of will. It's the ability to choose, decide, command, lead, determine. Today's topic, will. And then order, the ability to organize, balance, sequence, adjust. And then three more actually. There's zeal. Gotta have zeal. This man has zeal. Every time he sings, I'm like right with him. There's a draw. Zeal, the ability to be enthusiastic, be passionate, and start and motivate and do the job, and you do it. Next one is the power to say no, or Charles called it elimination. The power to release, remove, denounce, deny, let go, say no. We all know how that one goes. And the last one is called life. The ability to energize, vitalize, enliven, animate, and invigorate. Those are the 12 divine ideas. And I have often referred to my life as the journey of will, as in willful. As a child, I was the oldest of 12 children, I was the oldest of my mother's 6 children, and she took in children. She ended up with a daycare center of newborn babies, people that didn't want the child or whatever. She took the child. I was the oldest, so I became a mini mom. She just said, whatever I do, you do. I said, okay. And I have to tell you, one of the first things she taught me was how to hold 2 babies to take them to the wash tub. And I'm like, I was 8 years old at that time. So here's what she said. See, these are newborns, so the women could go back to work because they had to work. And there wasn't back in those days many companies that actually gave a woman money to stay home or time off to stay home. So it just wasn't that way. So she's got this little baby, and you know we've got a new baby here. It's not a very big bundle of energy in her. It's just a little baby. So this hand was about half this size, and she said, okay, we're going to put the baby in your arm, and nose is going to go here, and an arm and a leg and a leg, and you're going to clamp it to your side. You got it? I got it. Okay, we're going to do it again. Get the nose, the little one's got to breathe, the arm and the arm, the leg and the leg. Hold it tight. Do not drop that baby. It's like, okay, I got it, Mom. Oh, God, I love these babies. Never could have a baby in my life. Thank God I had all these babies, because I tried. I married twice, tried twice, more than once. Could not produce a baby. Finally had an operation. All right, I'm going to get this fallopian tube fixed. Turns out they're about the size of a hair, if you're lucky. And they're supposed to split it and clean it up and put it back. They did the operation, maybe 25,000, didn't work. I think I was on that second marriage at 44 maybe. So, but I tried. I tried to produce that baby, but no baby. Yeah. So I have referred to my life as a journey of will because I have found that will and understanding are very closely related. Growing up, I often said why to my mother, and when I was told to do something, why was not what she wanted to hear. I wanted to know the details, and she just wanted compliance in the moment, like, just do the job I tell you, Kathleen, don't ask me questions, just do it. I don't have time for this, don't ask why. And her inevitable response was when I said why again, because I would, she just would say, because. Have you ever had a mother that said that to you? Because, with no anything at the end of it, just because. She often reminded me I was the oldest and I had to be good, and if I wasn't good, then all the other children were going to be just like me, and I would be in deep doo-doo. She was very Catholic, and I have to laugh because guilting another didn't seem very Catholic at the time. It didn't seem to count as a sin anyway in her worldview. So anyone who can relate? Yeah. So we've all had to learn there's always someone in authority. It's either good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. Charles Fillmore said that the power of will is aligned very closely with the power of understanding, and I agree with that. It is defined as the ability to choose, decide, take charge, and lead. That's the will part. And that's just how it went. My mother ran this daycare center in our home, unofficially daycare center. She took these babies in, and she kept them, some of them till they were teenagers. They just became part of the family. She took in newborn babies, which was a lot of work, so the mother could go back to work. And I learned a lot about how to take care of people. Maybe it was why I became a flight attendant. I wanted to be a doctor, couldn't scrub. Eczema, my skin's too thin, it just would break out. Couldn't become the doctor, doggone. So I ran away and got on an airplane. I didn't come back for 40 years. 40 years in the wilderness, you know how that goes. Yeah, so I became a mini mom, but I loved those babies. So one of the gifts that and for some reason my mother's been on my mind when I was trying to come up with a talk yesterday. She had the most beautiful singing voice, and I loved to sing. And this past Mother's Day brought back images for some reason. I can see her rocking and singing, and the baby in her arms, and that just brought tears somehow. But anyway, my spiritual journey, as Cleo said, I've been blessed with 2 spiritual teachers in my life. And each founded a school, which I thought was interesting. Each founded a school for spiritual growth and understanding. And so there's Unity Worldwide Ministries, which is what we are today, which was, in case you didn't know it, accepted as a world religion by the Parliament of Religions in 2017. We are now a world religion, considered a world religion. Yeah, so Unity was co-founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And the second school that I have been part of, and a private teacher that I've had for 25 years now, it's called the Ridwan Foundation, the Academy for Spiritual Guidance. And they're out in California. Founded by Hamid Ali, who's Kuwaiti. Went to school in Berkeley back in the 60s. Actually got to know, what's his name, O'Leary, that group. Claudio Narano, yeah, yes, the Speakers After Truth, yeah, absolutely, that group. So you know that I'm a hippie too. I look much better proper today. But anyway, So Hamid he was born in Kuwait, he came into this country as a student in the early 60s to attend the University of California in Berkeley. And then he did become a member of the Seekers After Truth group with Timothy Lear and Claudio Nerano and many others. And one thing about Claudio Nerano, who's now deceased, he actually brought the Enneagram into this country from Chile. So the Enneagram went from Russia, it went into Europe, it went back over to Argentina, it went down into Chile, and then it came back in the 60s because there was this beautiful university called Berkeley, and it took in a lot of people that were interested in esoteric things. So Hamid has a pen name, it's called Almaz. So Almaz is an awesome writer. He's published, I think, 22 to 25 books, I've lost track. The pen name Almaz means, he's Arabic, means diamond. It symbolizes the brilliance and strength and unbreakable nature. So he wrote a book that was one of the first books that I ever read before. I didn't know anything about Hamid at that time. He wrote a book called Facets of Unity. I picked out that book because it says Facets of Unity, and I'm in a unity congregation. This is what I want to read, so we have Facets in Unity. And he wrote, "Holy truth is not the realization of a specific truth. It's the awareness, the objective perception, and the understanding that everything is truth. All of it is holy will." I said, thy will be done. Okay, it's holy will. And then one more quote from the book, he said, "Therefore your functioning and your actions are inseparable from the functioning of the whole, and thus you are complete." Well, I never considered myself complete. And then he said, "Well, in a sense, you're a co-creator." That word I understand. Unity talks about co-creation. Get that one. And then he said, "And you're a participant in the expression of holy will." So when I was trying to come up with something yesterday, and my husband says, "What are you going to talk about?" I said, "Will, but I don't know what I'm going to say yet." It's going to get down on paper, and you're going to collate it and get it off into the computer with me and get it all pretty, which he did. He finally handed it back to me. He said, "You know it's running 16 pages?" I said, "Oh, that's because it's in really large print." Because I have to be able to read it, because I can't remember all this. So here we go. Where was I? Holy will. So in this state, you do experience unity. If you are one with the will of God and your will aligns with it, it is a unity. It is an openness. It is a settling. It's an interconnectedness. And everything is just one whole thing. Yeah. And I've had to learn that the easiest way to deal with this force called will is just to move with it, not try to recreate it, not try to push it this way or that way. I don't want that. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. Yes, you're going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then I had to say, well, I will it for good. And when you work with your will enough, when you recognize that you do have a will and it doesn't exist as a separate will, well, then you get to be free. But that's a lot of work. That probably took 10 years, 15 years, who knows? But when you feel supported by the universe, your will is free. It's just a gift to know that you can make things happen in a predetermined way. You can actually write a talk and get it out of a machine and onto a piece of paper and into a folder, and oh gosh, I had enough sleeves even. That was amazing. So your action becomes effortless and spontaneous, and when you're experiencing that kind of effortlessness, there's just I'll call it understanding. There's an understanding that this is the will of whatever's going on at this moment. This is the will, and I'm in alignment with it. But I have to say, actualizing that will requires practice. So it's being present with whatever's arising, as I mentioned already, without rejection, without attachment, and without preference. And just these few words, actually, you could sum up the foundation of unity, this movement, with just those words. It actually constitutes the foundation of unity. So if you stay with and surrender to your inner process, it will unfold you in the same way. And this acceptance I'm speaking of is not the stance of being someone who takes a position relative to something else. It's just letting things be exactly as they are. Shit happens, okay. Dirty diapers to wash, okay. Dog vomited on the floor. Oh, there's poo on my bedroom floor. Husband just told me about it. Kathleen, I've got my dress on. Kathleen, would you go pick up the poo in the bedroom before somebody steps in it? The first thing I would like to say is, well, what's wrong with you? I did not. I just said, okay. I also know my husband is handicapped, and he's had 6 back surgeries, and both arms have been replaced. So he's not the one that's going to go and pick it up. That would be the wife's job. So if you're just letting things be exactly as they are, with no sense of self being unhappy about it, you're just feeling, okay, it's just a thing to do. You actually can live with an inner quietude. You can just be, this is what it is, an acceptance. And it can feel like basic trust. I just feel like I'm held by a basic trust. So both aspects of will and understanding are supporting that action. We're almost to the end. I don't guess I didn't want to have much to say about it. I do know that as children, our nervous systems were not developed enough to tolerate painful situations. I was born, my mother she wanted her doctor. And the doctor didn't show up for, I think it was, according to my father, 21 hours, almost a full day. And she was in 2nd stage birthing. And she let herself be, what do you call it? She was given a pill by the nurse that stopped did totally. And my father said, well, probably, I was about 45 when he told me this. He said, we didn't think you'd live. He said, your skin was slouching and they pulled you out with a forceps and they cracked the vertebrae in the first top of your, and you said, we just didn't expect you to live, but it was your mother's first baby. We didn't know. We just didn't know. And so, so parts of things just didn't work well in my life. So I spent a lot of time, and then unfortunately I contracted polio at 3. So I spent the first 5 years in an institution I had my skin stripped, I had all kinds of nasties. And then I had it done again at 16, I think it was. So my skin is 16 years younger than at least my skin on my face is 16 years younger than my 80 years. So this is me, the positive outcome type. So, when your nervous system doesn't work right and there's intolerable pain, or you're just, parts of yourself want to shut down. And as a result, and as adults, we can now be open to that past pain. And we all have some history behind us where there's something that was so horrendous. Not just the fact that there's been wars, but just living. There's difficulties in families, in relations. Yeah, there's illness. And the only wonderful word that I can think of is one of Charles' 12 words, which was compassion. Compassion is the healing agent. It helps us tolerate the hurt by seeing the truth of what is. This too shall pass, or it won't for some time. But it helps to realize that with that sense of inner help, inner basic trust, there's a balm, or I don't know what you call it, a BALM, that holding that actually I'm talked about, that arises and holds our heart, letting it become an opening that brings tenderness for this world of suffering, because this world has had a lot of suffering. So Charles Fillmore would say, "Thy will, not my will." And so it is. And thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
You're welcome.
Actually, Linda thanks you. We thank you in gratitude for being here for us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, it's time for our offering. We are grateful for your ongoing gifts and love offerings. You can offer your gifts here in the sanctuary or make a donation online at unitysv.org or by Zephy. We bless every single gift and receive with love in the realization as you give to this ministry continues to thrive, and that you give, what you give is returns to this community and is multiplied, pressed down, and running over. So shall we collect our offering and bless our offering as we hold it in our hand? I give
Give
joyfully and
and
easily, for
For
God is my source, and abundance is my nature. Thank you.
So it is.
Thank you for your love and more, gifts untold, shelter from the cold. When I'm feeling sad or lonely, let me know I'm not the only one who's ever been here. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have children? Okay, so I believe that would be the how about blessing one another and the child within? Children of light, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. Okay, and
All right, our peace song with zeal.